Hey folks, welcome back to Deer Corner. Our stands are finished. We're ready to go here, and quite a bit of talking going on, and especially on YouTube. But some of it, you see signs of deer. You may see a scrape or a rub or two. You're seeing deer tracks. But you're hunting it and not seeing any deer. And sometimes you have to be careful when you're out getting ready to hunt. And going in to your hunting spot and being careful not to bump deer. What I mean by bumping deer is you're going in and you're walking in on deer. And you may bump one deer and that deer's running. And that deer's going to run by another deer and that deer's going to run and so forth, just like dominoes falling. So one of the things you have to keep from happening is bumping deer. You have to know their timing, their habitat, their area, their movement, in order not to go in and bump a deer as you're going in. And bumping a deer going in, that goes along too with hunting pressure. Now, fortunately here, we don't have hunting pressure because the only people hunting here are my family and friends. And we just don't have a whole lot of people hunting this piece of property. Well, several pieces of property, but the pressure isn't here. And it can be. Now, I've watched a lot of YouTubes. I watch quite a few of them. I don't comment on them. Some of them I do, some of them I don't. And a lot of them are out there talking about getting down deep, getting down into the timber, getting down into the hidden areas, getting down to the area where deer feel secure. And in my opinion, that's wrong. You don't want to do that. You want to find it midsummer, late summer, a couple months before deer season. That's the time to find that area. Then leave it alone. You want to hunt before or after that area. You want to get them when they're going into it or coming out of it. But getting down in it, there you go. You're going to get in there, you're going to be bumping deer. Not only that, you're adding pressure. You're moving the deer out of somewhere where they're secure. And that is really a no-no. But again, for some of you that are hunting public land and so forth, some hunt clubs, that can work to your advantage. And how is that? Well, you have Joe Blow going down in there, and he's getting down into their safe zone. And he's going to bump the deer out. And I found in areas that you end up, all you have to do is go 60 feet into the woods and set up. Let the people that are getting deep and down into the area bump and move the deer. Now, it's funny about Cowboys and Indians, how the Indians used to circle the cowboys. And in a way, that's the way it is. These hunters have watched these YouTubes. They get down in there, they bump the deer out. The deer are going to come out and go around the surrounding area, like Indians, because their safe zone's been violated. Therefore, you can put your stand, 60, 100 yards into the timber and just set up. And the deer will come to you because they got bumped out. And that is part of my disagreement with a lot of people on YouTube telling you how to get in, how to find these areas where deer feel safe. If them deer feel safe, they're going to keep coming and going to that area. Once you get in there and you start bumping them out, they're no longer feeling safe. They're not going to go to that area. Then you got them scattered. Then it becomes harder to hunt. And that is what I call trying to pattern other hunters. What I do here on my property may not work for you. Or what you do on your property may not work for me. I do not pattern myself at other hunters. I do that works for me. So trying to look at some of these videos and trying to pattern yourself behind some of these hunters. Now, some of these hunters have been doing scouting, they've been doing looking, they've been doing it all summer long like I do. I can tell you what time of day this doe's coming out. I can tell you where this doe's going. But if you don't get out and do your paperwork and your homework, you won't be able to do that. Therefore, you can't pattern me. When I go out and hunt, I can say, well, I'm going to this stand, the air flows this way, I got this food plot over here, etc., etc. But I don't tell you, I know what time that deer's coming out regularly. So how are you going to pattern me if I'm not telling you? So I scout my deer and I hunt the area. And there again on patterning deer, does will change their pattern due to food. Now right now on this area behind me, I got a lot of red oaks and a lot of white oaks. The leaves are starting to change and starting to fall. Deer season's coming in. Once the leaves are off the tree, and once the trees are bare here, the acorns are gone. That's how quick the deer come through here, plus the squirrels, raccoons, the bear, the possums. Don't take long. All the acorns are eaten up and they're gone. Therefore, the deer will move from this area into a lower area to where there's food. So deer patterning, the does will change their pattern due to their food and weather, which plays a key thing in it. But they'll change, and when their patterns change, you need to know when it's changed. You don't know that if you don't get out in the woods. I hate for somebody to go out, oh, this is great, look at all these white oaks. They get out there, they put a stand in and don't even see a squirrel because the acorns are gone. They wasted their time, but yet they didn't do their homework. And that goes right along with stand placements. I have a tree climber. In my age now, I don't use it. I have tower stands. But it took me years to figure out where to put my tower stands. I just didn't go out and put them up. I figured their pattern. I worked with their pattern. I worked the time of year. I worked the rut. I worked just where to place that stand pertaining to that time of year, pertaining to the deer season. And that's how I figured out where to put my deer stands. I just didn't go out and put them up. Oh, this looks good. No, I didn't do that. All my stands are done, but they're put up and put out depending on the season and the time of year and the time of the rut, etc. But, and one of the things, I know this is funny, but if you are a deer hunter, it happened to you. I know it did. You look up and there's a deer, and you're going, where did that deer come from? Where did that doe come from? Or where did that buck? All of a sudden, bang, it's there. It may not be that the deer aren't there. It might be you just don't see them. Them deer, they're stealthy things. They can move along, and you don't see them. You don't see them at all. And all of a sudden, you get a picture of the hind end of a deer going away from you. Or like I said, bang, they're right in front of you, and you have no clue how they got there. And that's happened to me many times. Of course, in my age, I'm not going to lie, I'll take a nap now and then and wake up, and there's a deer. Of course, I don't know where it come from. I was sleeping. But anyway, that's happened to me more than once, to where a deer, I turn around and look, And where did that deer come from? I have no clue. I couldn't tell you. But there it was. So it isn't maybe you don't have deer. Maybe you just don't see them. But just a few things I'm bringing along. And deer season around the corner. And some places bow season is in. And I hope you have a good hunt this year. I am bringing my hunts on video this year. I brought a couple last year, but this year I will be bringing them and editing them and putting them in order. So I hope to bring you along. I hope to see you. And remember, and this is again with tree climbers, tree stands. Be careful. I watched a YouTube, a live video, and Off the Hook Outdoors, that's who it was, talked about one of his friends slid down a tree on a tree climber, hurt his back, and basically crawled all the way back to camp to get help. So be careful out there. Things happen, and you'd rather be safe than sorry. And I'll see you again. Y'all have a good day.